here we have this quite remarkable document from the Royal Archives, which actually, as was discovered from the Georgian Papers project, is the first documented account of anyone actually buying a copy of Jane Austen's novel. And it's a bill indicating the Prince Regent acquiring a copy of her first novel, Sense and Sensibility, in 1811, but he's bought it in late October, not November, which is when it was actually published. So I think this rather indicates how interested he was in the modern novel situation.
And how much was it?
15 shillings. And
15 shillings? I suppose actually that was quite expensive.
It was quite a lot of money, and he would have had it beautifully bound
yes.
as well, so that would add to the price. And then here we've got the prize of the Jane Austen collection in the Royal Library. It's the Prince Regent's copy of Emma, which actually is dedicated to him by the author.
But she wasn't a great fan of his,
Not at all, no. She actually, because this was during the period when his separation from his wife was being discussed, she was a fan of Caroline. In fact, she wrote in a letter something like, I must support her because she is a woman and because I hate her husband. And this is a man whom she has just dedicated this particular novel to. And actually, I think this is supposed to have been her favourite novel.
So she obviously had a lot of pressure put on her.
She did, that's right.
Are we allowed to have a look at it?
Yes, we are, of course. Well, first of all, it's got a rather special binding with
it's got the feathers
his feathers badge on. That's right. And then if we go into it, here is the dedication page.
I see.
To His Royal Highness the Prince Regent, this work is, by His Royal Highness's permission, most respectfully dedicated by His Royal Highness's dutiful and obedient humble servant, the author. But she just wanted to say something on the title page like dedicated by permission, and then John Murray clearly thought this was not fulsome enough, so he improved it to that.
It is absolutely beautiful.
I've never sat down and read it in this edition. I think it would be rather wonderful if you did. No, I haven't.
And I could sneak it out of the library.
Well, we do have 2 copies in this format, so
yes.
we possibly wouldn't notice for too
No,
long.
I wouldn't take it very far. It'd just be lovely to say you'd actually read this version, wouldn't it?
That's right, yes. It's you can imagine he might have sat there beside his fireplace reading this. Well, I hope he did. He was...
Well, you just get such a sense of the history of the place, don't you?
That's right.
Standing here in this library and looking at these books, I mean, it's magic.
And then they've passed through, so we've got a Carlton House library book plate here, which is his library.
Oh, what's it like, the Carlton House?
It's got his coat of arms on, and then Carlton House Library at the bottom. And then Queen Victoria's put her enormous coat of arms next to it.
It's twice the size.
I'm afraid so.
Yeah.
But he had copies of all of Jane Austen's novels in each of his establishments. So there was a Carlton House copy and I presume a Brighton Pavilion copy. This is the only copy that we still have that we can say for definite was his.
It is. We don't know what's happened to the others.
Well, a lot of them went into the servants' library, and so I presume got read to death.
Yes, and then disintegrated.
Exactly. I mean, some of these could be his, but they've been rebound, so we really don't know, I'm afraid.
It's just so exciting to see them.
Yeah.
It's especially if you're a great Austen fan.
Well, I am.
So
I am named for Emma, after all. My father was an English teacher, so...
Oh, so he... I think Emma, actually, funny enough, is my favourite.
It's had a lot of press over the years recently.
Yeah, they've suddenly become very fashionable again.
I blame Colin Firth.
Yeah, it's that splash into the water.
Yes, the wet T-shirt. Exactly.